This telecast is brought to you by the American Dairy Association of Illinois, your local dairy farmer, delivering to you their very best every day. The Illinois Beef Council, beef, real food for real people. John Deere and your local John Deere dealer. The country companies and their more than 900 agents throughout Illinois. You've got the country behind you. And the Illinois Pork Producers Association. The 10,000 pork producers in Illinois encourage you to try the new lean, nutritious pork, the other white meat.
We're back live at the Assembly Hall in Champaign-Urbana, and March Madness continues as we present the drama of the Elite Eight, the 1988 Boys Class AA State Basketball Championships of Illinois. Good evening, everybody. I'm Frank Bissoni, and welcome back to our tournament. Earlier today, St. Francis de Sales, #1 rated, and Rock Island advanced. And tonight, we have the #2, 3, and 4 rated teams in the state, including the defending champion. Our first matchup, Evanston, 25-5, tests the 87 champion Tigers of East St. Louis Lincoln, 25-4. And then a match of lightning quickness as the Peoria Manual Rams, 27-4, run with the Tomcats of East Aurora, 28-1. Now with more on our first session tonight, here are my colleagues, Jim Albrecht and Coach Bill Geist.
Thank you very much, Frank, and good evening once again, everybody. Game 3 of this quarterfinal round, and if you look at this one, Evanston is the underdog on paper, but we don't play these games on paper. We play them on the hard court. 2 years ago, Evanston was the underdog in the quarterfinal round against Chicago King. They took them down to the final shot only to have King. Bank went in off the side in the final seconds to lose that one, and Coach Bill Geist, Gary Hart is still trying to get over that loss, and he's back here trying to get another one.
Well, he's over it, I'm sure, and he's down here, and he wants to have a little bit of a different story. But, you know, it's going to be interesting here. We got 2 teams that are quick, 2 teams that like to press, that like to run, but the reason on paper it looks bad for Evanston is that you've got 6'10", 6'5", and 6'7" for East St. Louis going against 6'5", 6'3", 6'1" for Evanston. That is the paper difference.
I guess I'm thinking politically here. It's Mike Hart, of course, not Gary Hart, and Mike is still very much in the race, at least for a state championship. They must stop LaFonso Ellis. If not stop him completely, then stop his supporting cast.
Yeah, well, I don't think you stop a player like LaFonso Ellis. You try to limit him. You don't want him to dominate the whole game. But I think you're right. There are other players that they've got to worry about. Their defensive boards, East St. Louis's offensive boards, are very big key to the game.
Frank Bissoni is coming back to talk to tonight's coaches, but before that, let's pause for these messages.
When I bought this Ford Ranger, I found what makes it the best-selling small pickup in America. It's the best-built American small pickup, and it's covered by Ford's 6-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. And I saved over $1,200 on the options I wanted, like deluxe trim and electronic stereo.
Now make your best deal, then get $500 cash back direct from Ford on Ranger. Keep the cash or apply it to your down payment.
When only the best will do, quality Ford and you.
Oh, hey, Camelon. Got a minute? Sure. I saw what you did for my neighbor over there.
Most people come to Camelon because of the work we've done for their neighbors.
Tell me what.
Besides feeding your lawn, our people are specially trained to control the weeds and insects that can damage it. This kind of service is what makes Camelon different, and it's why we can guarantee you a healthier, more beautiful lawn or your money back.
Excuse me, Camelon, you got a minute?
Be right with you. Call now for Camelon Care. We give our people better training. They give you a better lawn.
To the defending champion, East St. Louis Lincoln Tigers, Benny Lewis. Coach, is there more pressure after having won last year coming back again?
Right, yes. This is tremendous pressure because, you know, no one has won it back-to-back in about 15, 18 years, and everyone is asking us, can we do it? Do you think we can win it back-to-back? Well, I tell them it's pretty tough, and we'll be lucky. If things go our way, we got a good chance, but we got to be awfully lucky for us to win it back-to-back.
What do you have to do in order to be able to beat Evanston tonight?
Well, we're going to have to hit our free throws. We're going to have to get back on defense because they like to run the ball too. We're going to have to rebound well. We're going to have to hit our shots. We can't turn the ball over like we usually do. We're just going to have to play an all-around good game to beat them.
Final question. How are you playing now as compared to early in the season?
We're playing probably our best ball because after the Collinsville tournament, I think we started to hit our stride, and we've been beating teams by 20, 30 points. But you know, when you get up here and everybody's undefeated in postseason play, it's kind of rough, and it's really tough because the teams are good, and this is the best 8 teams in the state here, and I think it should be a good ball game.
Fans all over the state congratulate you. Proud of your program. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you very much.
That's Benny Lewis, the head man of East St. Louis Lincoln, and walking in with me now is a man who was here in 1968 as a player, Mike Hart, the coach of Evanston. How is it different being here as a player or a coach?
Well, I think it's exciting both ways. I know that was one of the greatest moments of my life, and I'm just glad I can share it with some of my youngsters.
What's going to be the key of the game for Evanston?
Well, there's no question there's a tremendous size difference. We've got to be able to get at least half the rebounds, and then maybe play full court pressure, cause some turnovers, and be selective on our shots.
All right, talk to me about now tempo. You like to press. Can you press a team like East St. Louis Lincoln?
Oh, we're going to have to. We can't change things that we've been doing all year long just to play one game. We may have to make some alterations, but we've got to stay with what's gotten us here.
And what has gotten you here? What are the secrets to your success?
Well, we've, believe it or not, we've only been out-rebounded 3 times all year. And we do play an up-tempo game, a running game, and pressing. We try to create mistakes on the opponent's part.
What are you going to do special for LaFonso Ellis, if anything?
Try to surround him when he gets the ball.
Mike, congratulations on a wonderful year and good luck.
Great, thank you very much.
Mike Hart is the coach of Evanston. We're going to come back at the Assembly Hall in a moment. Let's now go over to the table. Jim Albrecht is standing by.
Mike Hart is a video connoisseur, and by that I mean he has saved every Evanston game on film or on VCR tape, half-inch, what have you, ever since he's been an assistant coach and now the head coach at Evanston High School. And they say he can go back 3 years and tell you exactly how a coach does what, if he's still doing it. So he's one of those students of the games, even though he is still now coaching it, I guess I should say.
Well, I know that as far as a coach goes, if you're playing somebody and the coach has been there for 10 years, he's probably not doing anything different than he did 10 years ago. I mean, there's different personnel, but as far as offense and defense, not too many things have changed. So I'm sure that's what he does.
The money man for the Evanston Wildcats, when they need the shot, when they need the rebound, they try to get it inside to Juvan McGarry. You will see him coming out in moments as the starting lineups are announced here for Game 3 of the quarterfinal action. East St. Louis Lincoln 25-4. The Wildcats from Evanston 25-5. Free throw wise, these two teams, if you're wondering who will win the battle from the line, both about even. 64-67% shooting wise, both teams right around 50%. Now for the presentation of the colors and the national anthem, here's the public address announcer, Steve Adams.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the presentation of the colors, we ask you to stand and join soloist Bill Olson of the University of Illinois and sing our national anthem, as it is played this evening by the pep band from Dixon High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the and the home of the brave.
We are just about set to hear the starting lineups tonight as we find out who will play either Peoria Manual or East Aurora. That game coming up, of course, after this one on the IHSA television network. Now for the starting lineups, here's public address announcer Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the coaches and players for this third quarterfinal round game featuring the Tigers of East St. Louis Lincoln and the Evanston Wildcats. First, for East St. Louis Lincoln, entering this game with a record of 25 wins and 4 losses, the head coach in his 16th season, Benny Lewis. Assistant coaches, Jethro Brown and Leland Seabury Jr. And now the players. Number 10, a 5'6" sophomore, Stanford Riley. Number 12, a 6'2" sophomore, Chris McKinney. Number 13, a 5'10" junior, Marco Harris. Number 14, a 6'3" senior, Darian Nash. Number 25, a 5'10" junior, Jason Rogers. Number 44, a 6'4" junior, James Lewis. And number 52, a 6'4" junior, Sharif Ford. And now the starting lineup for East St. Louis Lincoln. At one forward, a 6'5" sophomore, 22, Kanzo Martin. At the other forward, a 6'7" senior, 43, Bryant Stevenson. At center, a 6'10" senior, number 20, LaFonso Ellis. At one guard, a 6'1" senior, 23, Lawrence Bradford. And at the other guard, a 6'3" junior, number 21, Vincent Jackson. Those are the Tigers of East St. Louis Lincoln. And now let's meet the Wildcats of Evanston Township High School, entering this game with a record of 25 wins and 5 losses. First, the head coach in his 4th season, Mike Hart. Assistant coaches, Jerry Murphy and John Macon. And now the players. Number 11, a 5'9" senior, Gary Augustine. Number 32, a 6'3" senior, Derek Murray. Number 33, a 6'4" senior, Peter Thomas. Number 40, a 6'4" senior, Terry Johnson. Number 42, a 6'6" sophomore, Dan Featherson. Number 43, a 6'3" junior, Chris Daniels. And number 50, a 6'4" sophomore, Sloan Smith. And now the starting lineup for the Wildcats. At one forward, a 6'3" junior, number 23, Tyrone Bell. At the other forward, a 6'1" senior, 21, Brian Robinson. At center, a 6'5" junior, 45, Javon McGarry. At one guard, a 6' senior, number 24, Kyle Benoit. And at the other guard, a 6' senior, number 10, Pat Farragher. Those are the Wildcats of Evanston Township High School. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the officials for this game, John Duncan of Bartonville and Rich Firebaugh of Peoria.
You've met the main characters. Let's see how it plays in quarterfinal action. We're coming back, but first, one of your network sponsors is Country Companies.
The day you drive out with a new car, you start driving down the value month after month. With most auto insurance, total a car 2 years later, and you just get the used car value. But with Country Company's Keeper policy, if your car is wrecked beyond repair, you get a brand new car. Same make and model, even if it costs more than you paid at first. So get the country behind you.
You got the country company.
People who have seen Walmart's Spring Shopper's Guide can't put it down. And it's not surprising. It's our biggest ever with the best prices on the things you need for spring. Like these common sense 100% cotton bath towels. A super value at just $3 each. And Walmart's Shopper's Guide is filled with much more. Page after page of spring values you just can't pass up. It goes without saying, you want the best price. I found it. You need Walmart.
That's the Walmart way.
Evanston from Cook County, of course. East St. Louis from the county of St. Clair. Right now sharing space at the Assembly Hall. Can East St. Louis Lincoln do it 2 years in a row? Last year at this time, Coach, they took it to Chicago King in the championship game. That was the night LaFonso Ellis really came alive. He had kind of a slow tournament for a man of his caliber, and he is a man, make no mistake about that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think the first 2 games last year, it was a little bit disappointing because you hear so much about him, and it builds that up in your mind, and you expect the great things all the time. It just doesn't happen. But the championship game, he did have a great game.
McGarry will jump it up with Ellis. Ellis headed for Notre Dame. We'll talk about that in a bit. The tip way high. Ellis waited for it to come down, and with the basketball, Lawrence Bradford. Martin wants a 10-footer. Got it.
Well, that's, if you're a coach, that's how you like to start. A nice quick jumper.
With the basketball, the Evanston Wildcats. Driving is Robinson. Robinson, a story in himself. He transferred from Libertyville, and he's been a big part of this Wildcat team. Out front, Farragher drives, gets it swatted down, and East St. Louis Lincoln comes out of there with it. You drive in the lane against East St. Louis Lincoln, you're going to have some company. Jackson has the basketball and puts it down. Vincent Jackson, it's 2 for 2 from the floor for East St. Louis Lincoln, and they haven't even gotten the ball inside of Ellis yet. That can't be good news for Evanston. Driving nicely is Tyrone Bell with the left hand.
You know, 2 out of 2 times now, Evanston has taken it right inside. And I talked to Coach Hart before the game, and he was not going to shy away from that. He wanted to take it to Ellis and the big people on East St. Louis to see what happens.
Bradford, the senior guard. There's the low post. Ellis, the move. Can't get it to fall. Ellis gets it back, and we got traveling call. Good defense that time by the Wildcats inside.
Well, the last time down, they got the ball into Ellis, and he just popped it back out for a nice, easy jumper. That time, he got it and tried to take it to the hoop himself, and he had 3 guys surrounding him.
3/4 length press, broken easily as Robinson takes it down all the way. Can't get it to fall. With the rebound for East St. Louis, Vincent Jackson, and he'll bring it down himself. Minute and a half gone here in the first of 2 quarterfinal games tonight. Frank Basotti, of course, will be along for that exciting Aurora East Peoria Emmanuel game after this one is completed. Stevenson, nothing but net. Brian Stevenson, the 6'7", 200-pound senior, buries one, and they're looking good from the field. You can tell they've been here before.
Well, again, Ellis got the ball and just turned and hit an open man for a 15-footer because when he gets the ball, he's just drawing a lot of attention.
McGarry will be called for traveling. Yvonne McGarry made a quick move, but too quick as far as the official is concerned. To quote Mike Hart, the coach of Evanston, we really start 4 guards and a forward. So you take that equation against the tallest team down here in Champaign, and we've got a backcourt turning it over violation on Lawrence Bradford.
Well, Jim, we have contrasting styles on defense here. Evanston's going to man-to-man press, fall back man-to-man. They'll probably stay that way the whole game. East St. Louis wants the zone press. They use a 1-2-1-1, and then they'll fall back into a 2-3 zone. So they're very zoned. The other team is very man-to-man.
Farragher kicks it over. Now they get it inside. McGarry with a move, and what's the call? That's traveling again. Well, he's obviously aware that LaFonso Ellis is the man he's trying to beat to the hole, so he's trying to take that quick first step, and it's cost him twice.
You know, though, I really like this. Evanston is going to attack inside. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm saying as a coach, I like it. I think you've got to do that. You maybe get one of their players in foul trouble and show them you're not afraid to take it to them.
They work it down to Ellis. Ellis kicks it back out to Jackson, wide open. That one's short. Martin had it, lost it in the lane, picked up by Evanston, long down court pass to Brian Robinson. It will set up the offense. Gallagher looks like he wants the shot, gets it swatted down by Ellis. Hello.
Yeah, well, Farragut should have had somebody to dump the ball to. He drew Ellis to him, but there was nobody to pass to. The other players have got to get into those passing lanes.
Robinson, 18-footer, whistle, and a foul on East St. Louis Lincoln. It looked like either Lawrence Bradford or Martin. Let's see. It is Martin. You'll see Mr. Ellis, one of his fortes is rejection slips.
Well, see, the Farragut didn't have a chance on that shot, but he didn't have anything else to do with it. He was up in the air. I think he wanted to pass, but there was nowhere to pass to. The Evanston players have to be a little bit more aware of getting into that passing lane so he can dump the ball to him. If he does that, it's a very effective play. I think that's an example where your teammates make you look bad because they don't do what they're supposed to do. If somebody cuts to the hoop and he dumps it to him for a layup, Farragut looks like a champ.
East St. Louis Lincoln with the basketball. They hold the lead. 5-3, 6-3 as Robinson gets one of two. Bradford calls out the play for East St. Louis Lincoln. He's going to look for Ellis. You can count on that, but he's double dribble. Picks it up and put it down again. Good defense that time by the Wildcats. Wildcats, of course, out of the Central Suburban South League. Coach Mike Hart in his fourth year at the helm. Stolen away by Martin, but it won't go down. Farragut cleared it out of there. They work against the press nicely. Get it into Robinson. He gets it blocked by Ellis. Rebound underneath by Bell, but he gets it blocked as well. And now a fast break to Bradford. Does he get it in? You can tell East St. Louis Lincoln is not shy in the athlete department, just the way Bradford went up for that layup. He sailed in. Perfect body control. Farragut. They get it in the middle to Juwan McGarry, but he loses the handle again. They're 0 for 3 going inside to McGarry so far. Bradford underneath foul.
I don't think that's important now. I think the important thing is that they're going to him. If he settles down, he's got to do a little fake and try to get him up in the air, maybe draw some fouls.
Bradford, the best free throw shooter on this Benny Lewis team. I guess we would have to say that Benny Lewis has been mildly successful at East St. Louis Lincoln. 342 wins as opposed to 101 defeats. Do coaches remember all the wins as well as all the losses, or do they only remember the losses?
Remember the losses. When you're 28-1 or something, it's a little easier to remember the losses.
Bradford makes them both. It's 10-3. St. Louis with the biggest lead of the night. Benoit all the way. That's goaltending. Kyle Benoit drove down there, and LaFonso Ellis was waiting for him.
Yeah, they're taking it right at him. They don't have any fear.
That was a good call by the official from our vantage point because it was coming down. Bradford all the way down in traffic, and we've got a whistle and a foul.
Evanston, I think, has got to stop that penetration because if those guards are allowed to penetrate, get the defense over to the guard, and they got a lot of big people in there to dump the ball to for dunks or easy shots.
Brian Robinson picks up his first personal foul of the night as the Tigers kick it in.
This is one of the few times you'll see Evanston in the zone on out-of-bounds plays.
There's a long jumper by Bradford. Too much iron. Rebound fought for and won by Martin. Jackson doesn't want the shot. Bradford will try again. This time, same result. Martin almost had the rebound. Robinson saves it out to Farragut, but throws it away. Guess he's open. LaFonso, but he's fouled. That was not a bad play by Brian Robinson. However, it is his second personal.
Good hustle play here. Got the ball going out of bounds. Just overthrew his teammate. There's the foul. Well, if he doesn't foul him, we've got a big slam dunk.
Oh,
I'll tell you that.
That's what I'm saying.
But like you say, it's 2 fouls. He's sitting down now.
It's good and it's bad. And I guess bad more than good because Robinson a key to this team. And it is a team. They all chip in. The guards don't score a lot, but they get it to the other men. Bradford outside. Well, I'll tell you one thing about Lawrence Bradford. If he misses a couple, he's not going to think about it long. biggest lead of the night, 8. 13-5.
It's a little easier to shoot when you've got 6'7" and 6'5" and 6'10" in there, just in case you rebound. They missed the shot on there.
Tyrone Bell drove, but LaFonso Ellis put up the stop sign. We may have a record here tonight for blocked shots.
He's got 4 or 5 already, isn't he?
4 by my count. Ellis on the back door. Jackson, couldn't get it to go. Rebound McGarrett. Good back door play, though.
It's like a Michael Jordan move, didn't it? Dipsy-do and reverse layup.
Benoit and Farragher get it into McGarry. He needs it and gets it.
That'll help loosen him up a little bit.
Jackson over and back. That's over and back. What happened there, Jackson got the ball, put it down for one dribble, really didn't want to dribble it, but he lost his dribble, and then good defense by Evanston. Timeout on the floor. One of your network sponsors is the American Dairy Association of Illinois.
Come on, everybody, do that kick. Help kick. Milk's that kick. The hard man pours it on real tall. Staying in shape, milk's a part of it all. Milk! From big city slickers to wheat field kickers, America's favorite health kick milk.
Preview Herbicide presents Cleaner Soybeans, featuring unbeatable control of velvet leaf and cockleburn. Control that lets you rotate without carryover worries to corn or wheat. Preview, Pre or PPI leaves rotation options open while it brings down the curtain on 2 tough weeds. Preview, only from DuPont.
LaFonso Ellis has not scored yet, but so what?
Well, I think he's got 2 or 3 assists already, though.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Here we got a replay of a block shot. You know, so the viewers don't think I'm an idiot. When I say take it to him, part of this game is intimidation, and East St. Louis has a tendency to intimidate a lot of people. And by taking it to them, their best player, you're saying, okay, if you're going to block the shot, fine. You're going to beat us, fine, but we're not going to be scared about playing it.
Kyle Benoit buries one from the left wing, and suddenly it's a 4-point ball game. Jackson walks. Vincent Jackson made one move too many.
Hey, right now they're not looking for Ellis too much. Seems like the perimeter people are looking for their shot or their move, which is fine, but if you got a guy 6'9" in there, don't forget him.
Turnovers, 9 total. Evanston with the dubious lead. 1:38 remaining in the first quarter. Farragher goes in, loses the ball on the way up because of good defensive pressure. And Conzo Martin brought it down. Here's Jackson. They're running that high post offense right now, putting Brian Stevenson at the top of the free throw line. Now they'll shift into something else. Get it down low to Ellis. Spin, turnaround, great body control, but great defense. Rebound, Jackson put it back up and in. Jackson got the block shot, spun along the baseline, and that's what kills you when you play good defense on Ellis and they still come up with a basketball in the bucket.
Kind of interesting there. Ellis really altered his shot. I mean, he's the biggest guy out there. Of course, he could jump. Probably a little too much aware of the defense rather than just shooting the ball.
Tyrone Bell was bothered by Ellis again, and now it's out of bounds. Still belongs to Evanston. You see, that's what a guy like Ellis does. I don't care what the official total of block shots is. When you start making people change their trajectory, you have a definite impact on the game. Bell will trigger it out to Gallagher, and they'll try to get something going. It doesn't look like they're going to hold for the final shot of the quarter. Down by 6. Maybe they should have. They threw it away. Gallagher claiming he was hit on the arm as he threw the ball over on the wing, but the official not about to change his judgment. In St. Louis Lincoln, 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Bradford to Martin to Ellis, right back, three-pointer Bradford, air ball. Rebound Stevenson up and in. Well, that's what you call missing the straight three-pointer and going for the conventional three-pointer.
Well, that time Derek Murray on the weak side board just didn't black out, and he could see an easy putback.
But sometimes, Coach, basketball, no matter how much you coach, it boils down to a game of luck. Now, if that ball hits the rim, Stevenson doesn't get it and put it back up so easily.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. I'd rather be lucky than good. No question. It helps to be both. That's why you're down here. You're lucky and you're good.
So a three-point play, and suddenly that lead back up to 9, 18-9. East St. Louis Lincoln. Benoit gets through the pressure. Bell kicks it back out front. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Who wants the shot? Bell does. He won't get it off. Nobody will get a shot. That's the way the first quarter comes to a close. East St. Louis dominant so far. 18-9. One of your network sponsors is John Deere.
I heard you got one, Fred. I just had to come over and take a look.
Yeah, wanted one all my life. It's great. Look at the way it's put together. No wonder they last.
Mind if I just, sit behind the wheel? Oh, boy, would I like one of these. Can I take it for a spin?
Well, just in the front yard.
Oh, boy.
Nothing runs like a deer.
A great newspaper should do more than give its local readers the latest sports.
Questionable call last night.
It should give fans everywhere the same story.
Bum call last night.
The Chicago Tribune does that every morning, with editions printed by satellite.
That call last night stopped.
So everything you read is hot off the presses, whether you're in Chicago,
This thing's like a rock.
or the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
What do you expect? It came all the way from Chicago.
You may not always get the freshest bagels, but you always get the freshest sports. We was robbed.
To update you on the survivors and those who have stepped out of this Elite 8 matchup. First game of the day saw St. Francis de Sales whip Simeon, but not by much. It took an overtime, 60-57, and it looked like de Sales was gone, but they came back late. Anderson, their star performer who's headed to Indiana, hurt his ankle but came back, and then it was Rock Island over Bloom Trail, 69-52, so those two will go at it tomorrow morning in the semifinal. Join us at 11. East St. Louis Lincoln causing more havoc defensively. Who's going to pick up this basketball? What's the call? Finally, they call a foul against the Tigers. Man, that was reminiscent of the Rock Island Bloom Trail game. The ball was on the floor much of the afternoon.
I think it's important for Javon McGarry to get more involved in this game. He's getting the ball at the high post, and he's really drawing a crowd of defensive players. I think he's got to look to pass it a little bit when he gets in there, or he's got to maybe go to the low post and get somebody else in there, that high post, to get him the ball.
Derek Murray, number 32 in the ball game. I believe he came in late in the first quarter. And my apologies if we failed to mention Murray, who wears number 32, 6'3", 185 senior. This is Benoit with the basketball inside. McGarry, can he get it done? Not that time. Good defensive pressure. There's your first quarter statistics. East St. Louis Lincoln only hitting 37%, but it's been good enough so far. Good enough for a 9-point lead, because Evanston only hit 4 from the floor, 4 of 12. McGarry picking up his second personal foul on that after that missed shot.
Look at those stats, and you see 3 less rebounds and 3 more turnovers, and that's the difference in the game.
Hanzo Martin at the free throw line. No. Rebound won by Ellis, and a try. McGarry and Ellis went up very high for that rebound. We'll show you how it unfolded. Yeah, he lowered the boom on it.
Yeah, gave him his shoulder hit him, and of course it helped that he went down. You gotta fall down if you want the official to call it sometimes.
Breaking the press nicely, Tyrone Bell, but then he threw it away. He tried to get it to Derek Murray. Last touch, however, by East St. Louis Lincoln. So the Wildcats will try to cut the lead down to 7. Benoit kicking it in underneath his own basket. That defense interior for East St. Louis Lincoln. It's really hard to just make a an entry pass in there.
Well, they're so big, and then they put their hands out, and it just makes it even more difficult. And that's something you just got to get used to. I think as the game progresses, I think if Evanston can keep their cool and keep their game plan in mind, they'll get better at
Robinson in and out. Ellis lost the rebound, and who does it belong to? East St. Louis Lincoln. I was screened out by the official close to the scorer's table here. 6:50 remaining in the second quarter. Jim Albrecht and Bill Geist, the coach of the Barrington Broncos, joining us for the analyst. Here at the other end is Stevenson. You could hear that baby sing. East St. Louis Lincoln being fairly methodical about it. And now at the other end, a foul called against East St. Louis Lincoln, but let's see against whom. Lawrence Bradford will be the man called for the personal. So far in the game, Ellis with 3 blocked shots. There you see a good shot of Tyrone Bell. Bell only a junior. He'll be back for Mike Hart. In the middle it goes to McGarry, and he gets it down.
That seems to be the place he likes to play, right at that high post and turn and shoot. That time he didn't have a lot of pressure.
Oh, Bradford. Lawrence Bradford from one end to the other. Talk about setting your own tempo.
See, for Evanston, somebody should have stepped in front to take the charge there. Just mental error.
Bell had to go up high for that one to save the turnover, and he did just that. Robinson, three-pointer. Too hard. Look at Ellis get upstairs. Now underneath, fought for. And it was McGarry underneath there. I was screened out on that occasion by a man coming in for East St. Louis Lincoln.
You were screened out so you can see the replay here. Ellis goes up with one hand rather than two, and he lost control of it. And there's the foul from behind.
McGarry at the free throw line, bears it. Terry Johnson in the lineup for Evanston as McGarry makes them both. 22-13, East St. Louis Lincoln in charge. Evanston trying to stay as close as they possibly can. Jackson gets it down to Stevenson. Not there. Going up for it is McGarry and Ellis, and we got a foul from behind him, McGarry.
That's bad news for Evanston fans. That's McGarry's third foul.
That's terrible news. I was just checking the new man coming in. That would be Derek Murray, and the reason he was coming in because that man right there, Juvon McGarry with his third personal foul, and Ellis largely responsible for that.
Well, it's similar to this afternoon now when Anderson went out with his bad ankle. You got Evanston's best players out with fouls. What you want to do if you're Evanston is just stay in the game now. And the bad part is you have 5:41 to go in the second quarter. It's a long way to go and to have to stay in the game, but you'd like to keep it within 10 if you could.
Every coach's dream is to have a big man who shoots free throws well, and that's what LaFonso Ellis does, hitting 70% on the year. Fell all the way down, and he'll be fouled. Stevenson got a hand on him.
See, Evanston's game plan of taking it to East St. Louis now is starting to produce some free throws for him. You know, one thing that would help Evanston, too, that I don't think we're going to see here, Jim, is with East St. Louis playing that 2-3 zone, you'd love to have one or two players who could stand out there by that three-point line and shoot that shot. But Evanston, that hasn't been their game plan all year. They've only made 8 of them for the whole season. So we're not going to see it, you know, you didn't see it during the year. You're sure not going to see it tonight. But so, you know, if the viewers are wondering why they're not shooting out there, they're not used to that, and that's not part of their offense.
Right. Well, Benoit only averages 5.5 points a game. Farragher 4.5, so it's about 10 points from the guard court. Can't have that. Good rebound that time by Murray, but he's called for traveling because he couldn't catch his balance. Checking in for East St. Louis Lincoln during that free throw timeout was Chris McKinney. Stevenson heading to the bench with his second personal foul.
This Evanston press has not produced the turnovers Mike Hart wanted either.
McKinney to Martin to the hole.
East St. Louis is handling it very, very well.
Chris McKinney just in the game gets the assist on that one as Martin I think every shot he's taken tonight has hit nothing but the bottom of the white stuff. Doubled the score they have now, East St. Louis Lincoln. And they come up with the turnover. No, they don't. McKinney almost had his hands on it. Bell all the way down. That's a nice move, but he can't get it to fall. Well, Bell did exactly what he wanted to do. The other way, Bradford. Bradford up, and don't count those.
Well, that time Ellis did not block the shot, but he faked at him, and I think he made him a little bit nervous, and he missed what should have been an easy shot. But with Ellis in there, I don't think there are any easy shots.
Terry Johnson came down with that rebound. Bell loses the basketball. Ellis came up with it. It's a one-on-one right now, forming into a 3-on-2. Ellis walked with it. There you see Benny Lewis's reaction.
He's not real happy. But what's amazing to me is the way he hustled down on that wing. That's some nice athletic ability. I'm sure that Digger Phelps liked to see that, and getting out there and running on the wing and filling the lane on the fast break.
Yeah, when your big man comes up with the steal at the other end and goes down and fills one of the lanes. Robinson opened for just a moment, didn't want it. Benoit, nice fake. He'll drive inside, lose it for a moment. Picked up inside, but it's not going to be any result because Terry Johnson had it swatted away. Quickly, McKinney. McKinney gets it over on the wing to Martin. Martin finally missed one, but he gets it back, and he stepped on the end line of travel. Traveling, they said. Back into the ballgame, Pat Farragher for the Evanston Wildcats. East St. Louis Lincoln plays at such a level that you don't really feel like you're getting beat that bad. You look up at the scoreboard, you're down by 13.
That was in contrast to the game this afternoon where I really thought that Bloom Trail was getting beat badly and they were still in the game.
Farragher all the way.
He's done that the whole game. He just got back in and he's taken it inside the whole game. That was the first time he's been successful doing it.
Farragher played one against everybody and beat the press. McKinney gets it over to Bradford. Ellis, and count those up.
Well, that time they isolated him. It was one-on-one inside, and I don't think Evanston has anybody big enough to contend with that dual turnaround jumper.
Lincoln with the 13-point spread. Tyrone Bell with the basketball for the Wildcats. Wildcats are just simply going to have to stay hot. Bell, no. 3 minutes and 9 seconds remaining here in the first half. Again, Peoria, Manual, and East Aurora in the nightcap. That's traveling, nothing called. The other way comes Evanston. Bell, and he got it taken away. Bell had somebody put a hand in there. It looked like McKinney. Chris McKinney with good defense slapped it away. Timeout on the court. There's McKinney with a quick hand. One of your network sponsors is the Illinois Beef Council.
I've devised my own way to cook perfect steaks without slicing them open. I cook an extra little piece, and I test it. I call it my test steak. Of course, it's done a little early, but that's part of the secret. No one ever knows, because I eat the evidence. Beef, real food for real people.
For years, the people of Central Illinois have been telling you about Pekin New Car Dealers.
We're real pleased with the service they gave us, and I'm sure we'll go back in the future.
Very friendly service people. The follow-up on the new car sale was excellent.
Isn't it time you found out for yourself? For the best selection, best service before and after the sale, and the best price, look no further than the Pekin New Car Dealers. They have what you're looking for, and they have it for less.
LaFonso Ellis, the money man for East St. Louis Lincoln, but you won't see Javon McCary coming out because he's on the bench with 3 for Evanston. Field goal shooting, Lincoln. I'd say most coaches would settle for 50%. Evanston, however, only shooting 30%. Rebounds almost 2-1 in favor of the big guys. McCary didn't want the shot. Now he does. That was a bad choice. And now we got a 2-on-1. McKinney all the way down and makes it look easy.
In my opinion, what Farragher should have done, he penetrated a little bit. He should dump it out or inside to somebody else, because that was really a poor shot for him.
Murray gets it down to Bell, who gets the roll. Tyrone Bell with a nice athletic move, used the left hand. Bell with 4 on the night, but East St. Louis Lincoln still up by 13. Bradford beautifully to Ellis, who gets it swatted away by Johnson. All the way the other way, stolen by Bradford. Bradford down to McKinney, to Martin, yeah. Well,
East St. Louis getting too many easy baskets if you're an Evanston fan, and just enough if you're an East St. Louis fan. But they're really making it look easy right now.
Well, Ellis got his shot rejected, which is rare enough, but it turned into a fast break because Bradford at midcourt made the steal and kicked in the transition game. Robinson can't get rid of the shot. East St. Louis Lincoln just sitting back in that zone saying, come on, take the outside shots, because Evanston not known for their outside shooting. Bell had it stripped, but a foul is going to be called on Chris McKinney. McKinney, keep in mind, only a sophomore. Picks up his first of the night.
I would say if Evanston can't get somebody to hit that, they don't have to hit the three-pointer, but if it's maybe a 17, 18-foot jump shot once in a while, if they can't find that person, I can't see how they're going to get back into this game at all, because East St. Louis is just too big and strong inside. I mean, you can take it to them like they are and have some success, but geez, you've got to get that little jump shot in there. Otherwise, all 5 guys can go into the paint.
Bell, who's averaging 14 on the year.
I'm really impressed with the way East St. Louis is handling this pressure.
Down to Jackson. Oh, miss.
Maybe I shouldn't be, but I know talking to Mike before the game, he was saying that he thought their ball handling might be a little suspect, and he really thought he could create quite a few turnovers with his press, and it just hasn't happened.
Murray can't get the jumper at the other end. Jackson was 6 now for East St. Louis Lincoln. They're just breaking that pressure and getting wide open jumpers like that. This time Jackson can't buy it, gets it back, puts it back down.
Well, anybody who thinks this is a one-man team is a little goofy.
Misguided. We try not to use the word goofy on television.
I was going to say misguided. That's a lot of syllables, and you must have a college education. Huh? The dean's office, we use goofy.
Bell can't get it at the other end. Here comes the fast break. Oh, Bradford, pretty pass back to Mark. This one's all East St. Louis. They've doubled up on them, 38-19. 38 seconds remaining, and Evanston just might be outmanned. Bell inside, blocked, but they're going to call a foul on Vincent Jackson, who buries his head in his hands.
I think if you're an Evanston fan, you want this thing to end right now, go into the locker room and see if you could come up with something maybe a little bit different, settle everybody down, whatever. But this half has been all East St. Louis. There's no question about it.
A free throw needed, not gotten that time by Tyrone Bell, so he'll step back up there and try to bury this one. The way East St. Louis Lincoln is playing, you could almost count on them coming down court before the half and scoring.
Well, everything's going right for them. I mean, it's they're playing well, they're playing defense well, they're rebounding.
There's a steal by Bell. Yeah, that's good for Evanston.
I jinxed him, I guess, huh?
It was tipped up in front by Robinson, who set the stage for the play. McKinney in a hurry. Gets out of the lane and gives it to Bradford. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. 16-point lead for the Tigers. LaFonso Ellis moves, steps up, and
what a soft touch on that shot.
5 seconds, 4. McCary all the way. He turned it over. McCary turned it over with a second left. So East St. Louis Lincoln will get the inbound at half court and take about a 50-footer.
I thought that last shot by Ellis, it hit so high on the backboard, was going to be way too hard, and he's got such great touch that the thing just dropped right down.
Bradford, no. Not bad defense by Robinson, who won't allow him to take the free long shot. We've come to the intermission here in the quarterfinal game, number 3 of the day, and East St. Louis Lincoln looking awful good. 40-22 over Evanston. One of your network sponsors is Country Company.
The day Tom bought his new car, he knew it would start declining in value, month after month. So he added the keeper coverage to his Country Company's auto insurance. 2 years later, The car was totaled, unrepairable. But instead of giving him only the used car value, country companies bought him a brand new one. Same make and model, even though it cost more than the original. The Keeper for just a few dollars more.
You've got the country company.
Shearer deals. Shearer Buick Pontiac Isuzu. Auto Row, North Pekin. Deals big time with the biggest deals around on their classic inventory of Buick, Pontiac, and Isuzu. Come in today and experience the beauty and integrity of the spirited 88 Buick Regal. Or try Pontiac's most popular performance car, the Pontiac Grand Am. Or pick up the versatile and affordable Isuzu Pup. Take advantage of the Shearer deals at Shearer Buick Pontiac Isuzu, North Pekin, where customers send their friends.
There you see the result of the first 16 minutes of play here at the Assembly Hall. The result's very good for East St. Louis Lincoln so far. And Juvan McGarry getting in foul trouble did not help at all, Bill Geist, not one bit. But they did, as you noted from the outset, try to take it in on him. Yeah. But I don't think they have any other choice because of what we said earlier. Their outside shooting is just not that spectacular, so what are you going to do? You got to go with what brought you here.
Yeah, you know, this may sound strange, but I think the press is hurting Evanston a lot.
It really is.
Not getting the turnovers, and East St. Louis is bringing the ball down, and they're getting 12-footers.
That's right.
They're getting 10-foot jumpers, and because Evanston doesn't have their set defense there. I was watching Mike Hart leave the floor, and he looked up at the score, and he kind of, you know, he was, what am I going to tell these guys? But I think he might try to make more of a half-court game out of it and just change the tempo a little bit, or take the press off and put it back on, but see if he can make East St. Louis play against a better half-court defense, and maybe he can push them out a little bit with some of those shots.
Yeah, he took his chances with that zone pressure all over the court, man-to-man pressure, and it cost him, as you said, especially Vincent Jackson getting some nice open jumpers and Conzo Martin. But, you know, you play the half-court, then you're going to deal with Ellis all afternoon and night, so we'll see.
Yeah, but when it's 40-22 and you're in a, if we lose, the season's over type of situation, he might figure, well, let's try something a little bit different. If it doesn't work, fine, we can always go back to the full court pressure, but why go with something that has you 18 points down?
Well, we'll come back with some guests at the Assembly Hall. Art Kimball is standing by right now. East St. Louis standing on an 18-point lead. Let us pause for these messages.
Soybean growers, welcome to the classic post-herbicide challenge. At 1.5 pints, Vasagran gets 2-inch velvet leaf. And classic at just 2/3 ounce per acre. Gets 4-inch velvet leaf. At 3/4 ounce, it gets even more. The herbicide in the little bottle gets the bigger weeds. DuPont Classic.
Family tradition continues.
Hi, this is Duchess. My 1988 Beretta GT that I bought for Bob Grimm Chevrolet. Our family have always bought Chevys for Bob Grimm Chevrolet for a long time. And I figured my mom can buy a Chevy from Bob Grimm, so can I. And I've had exceptionally good quality in this car, and I love it. And I'm very extremely satisfied. Thanks, Bob.
Bob Grimm Chevrolet, Morton.
We have two gentlemen with us who have been rather evident this year at the Class A tournament, the AA. These fellas are hosts for the participating teams down here. We're going to find out what that entails. The gentlemen are Jack Shepard here and Skip Thompson right here. Now, first, I've got to tell you, Skip is in his first year as a host. He's a rookie. Last week, tell us what team you had, Skip.
Yeah, we had Pana. You know what happened? They won the state championship, and so in my rookie year, I'm a champion. I feel real good about that.
I understand they also say and buy a few dinners for the rest of the hosts.
Yeah, I'll buy it, though. Anything they want to eat, I'll take care of them. No problem.
Jack, you've done this for a number of years. Tell us what this entails, being a host for a ball club coming down here.
Well, Art, for the most part, these teams are strangers when they come into this tournament. They have not been here before, and even those that have been have new coaches and new players, so it's basically a new experience. And the Assembly Hall and the university and the ISHA and Champaign-Urbana communities believe that strangers coming into the community should have a chaperone or a host. and it entails quite a few things. There are passes that you have to get into the place, use the right door, park at the right place, wear the right uniform, sit at the right bench, go to the right basket, go to the training rooms for special needs.
You fellas, are you either one of you at the university?
I'm not, no.
Neither are you, are you, Skip?
No, I went back in 1951, but I joined the service and I did 20 years and 8 months in the United States Air Force.
So you're in private business now?
Yes, I have Skip Thompson's Rentals in Urbana.
Okay, and what about you, Jack? Let's get a plug in for you here.
I'm semi-retired. I retired in 1984, but I've been affiliated with the university off and on for 30 years, and I've worked for the Assembly Hall for basketball games and various events for 15 years or so.
Well, I'm sure for both of you, this is a labor of love. You really enjoyed the last 2 weekends, haven't you?
Oh, you better believe it. And tonight is going to be something special, too.
Well, indeed it is, with the 2 ball games on tap tonight. That next one coming up should be a dandy between Manual and Aurora East. Jack, thank you so much for being with us, and keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you.
Skip, may you have another state champ. I'm not going to ask you who you've got this week. We don't want to jinx anybody, but you won last week.
Well, I've got East Aurora coming up, and they've only got 1 loss, so if they can extend that, then you might see a repeat of last week. So
we might mention there are 8 teams here and 4 hosts, so we each work for 2 teams. That keeps us pretty busy.
Okay, we're out of time, fellas. Thank you so much for being with us.
Okay.
And one of your network sponsors, American Dairy Association of Illinois.
Come on, everybody, do that kick. Health kick, milk that kick. Working out or kicking back, enjoying the view. Milk's calcium and vitamins keep working for you. Kick, 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 milk. It's a high country way, drinking milk every day. America's favorite health kick, milk.
Design Furniture and Systems have created efficient offices for hundreds of Tri-County businesses. From interior design and space planning to product selection, coordination, and accent pieces to their experienced service department's final installation. No matter what your space or budget, Design Furniture and Systems can make your office more efficient through space-saver systems like this mobile storage unit or color-coded filing systems. Design Furniture and Systems, Downstate's fastest-growing interior design company with additional sales offices in Bloomington and LaSalle, Peru.
Through these. With 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter, it was a 13-9 ball game, but then East St. Louis put 7 straight points together and started running away. They lead it by 18. Here's the numbers so far. East St. Louis Lincoln, look at that shooting, Coach. 57% as compared to 32 for the Wildcats. That pretty much tells the story, not to mention the rebounding, 19-8.
Well, you know, you're right. I mean, what else can you say about it? You've got one team shooting 57% to 32 and one with 19 rebounds to 8. I was kind of surprised the turnovers are even, or it could really be a little bit worse. But, you know, when you've got so many people with some size and shot blocking ability, it really makes it difficult when you're not an outside shooting team.
Speaking of shot blocking, we're going to take a look at LaFonso Ellis in just a minute. Individually, Lincoln very balanced.
This is
Look
what
at that, 8,
yeah.
8, 9, 7, 6.
And this is what I was mentioning before about this certainly isn't a one-man team.
And Bell leading the way for Evanston with 9. We'll come back and maybe get to those Ellis blocks. Well, we're going to take a look at them right now before we break. LaFonso wears number 20, and we'll take a break while Ellis doesn't give anybody a break. One of your network sponsors is John Deere.
I heard you got one, Fred. I just had to come over and take a look.
Yeah, wanted one all my life. Great. Look at the way it's put together. No wonder they last.
Mind if I just, sit behind the wheel? Oh, boy, would I like one of these. Can I take it for a spin?
Well, just in the front yard.
Oh, boy.
Nothing runs like a deer.
Blue skies and clean air were something I took for granted as a boy. Not anymore. We have to work together to keep our air clean and unpolluted. Now we're using new technologies and new products like clean-burning ethanol fuels. Ethanol is actually made from corn, and 25% of all gasoline sales in Illinois are now ethanol blends. Ethanol, made from America's own corn, is a step in the right direction.
Brought to you by the Illinois Corn Marketing Board on behalf of Illinois corn growers.
Well, there was a movie out called The Terminator once. Alfonso Ellis wasn't in it, but he is in the movie entitled The Intimidator because he's just all over. He is a factor. If you drive in the lane, you know he's there. Yeah, even if you don't see him, you know he's somewhere around.
That's right, whether he blocks a shot or not. You know, we've got, I don't know how many block shots he has, but he's got 4 block shots. He could have all kinds more, but, you know, the shots he's altered, I think, is a bigger statistic than the ones where he's really blocked.
Ellis inside, surrounded, hooks it up, and it'll go.
No way you can stop that. Great position, good pass in, and an even better shot.
Biggest lead of the night, 20 points for East St. Louis Lincoln. Robinson the other way, same starting 5 for both teams. A whistle and a foul, and that'll give us a chance to set those lineups for you for the Evanston Wildcats. Kyle Benoit, number 24, his running mate at guard, number 10, Pat Farragher. Juvon McGarry, the center. For Coach Mike Hart's Wildcats, McGarry wears number 45. Brian Robinson wears number 21. He's at one forward. Tyrone Bell, number 23, at the other. Robinson, they call him the prayer man because he leads this team in prayer before every game. And played at Libertyville last year where he was the star, averaging about 18 points a game. And when he came over to Evanston, he had to learn how to adjust because Mike Hart said, hey, you're just one of the guys here. We need the team concept. So his average went down, but he's down at state.
That's right. Well, I was thinking that, too. He could have been a star at Libertyville and maybe scored 20-some a game. Instead, he's just another player, a starter, and a very good player. But the stats aren't that good, but he's downstate.
And it really takes a while for anybody in any situation to adjust to a new environment, especially on a team concept. Ellis surrounded. That's the way things are going for East St. Louis Lincoln tonight. When there's a steal made, they even come up with it. This time, Jackson can't get it to go. At the other end, it's Bell.
That's happened to me a couple times today. You know, you just figure, well, okay, here's a layup, nice fast break, and all of a sudden they just keep going up and up and up and jam it through.
Tyrone Bell wakes up the Evanston fans, but let's see if East St. Louis Lincoln is daunted at all. Ellis forces his way in. Well,
just power.
That's power. You want muscle ball? You get that man to play it for you. 10 points for Alfonso Ellis. Farragher the other way. Ooh, Farragher had it knocked away. Picked up out front by McKinney. McKinney goes, banks, and can't get it to fall. Look at Martin fighting for it, but Farragher makes up for his mistake with the bad pass by getting the rebound at the other end. Tyrone Bell will kick it back out to Farragher, and they'll set up the offense. Murray getting set to check in for Evanston. Long jumper, Robinson won't go. Rebound, Hanzo Martin.
Just can't seem to get one of those outside shots to drop for him.
Martin, the sophomore, playing well tonight. Inside Ellis, look at that. Oh, you're going to block me out on the right side? Fine, I'll make the left side open.
I don't think in high school you expect a 6'9" kid to be able to make a move like that.
Ball gets away momentarily. McGarry calls for travel. This might be a case of McGarry, who is a very good athlete, just trying to do a little too much, looking up at the scoreboard and seeing that 20-point deficit. Timeout on the floor, still East St. Louis Lincoln's way. One of your network sponsors is the Illinois Beef Council.
Have you heard about this left brain, right brain stuff? They take this steak. The left brain is supposed to understand that in a balanced, varied diet, a lean, trim, 3-ounce portion can easily fit within the leading dietary guidelines. That's logical. The right brain just knows it's good. That's emotional. Nice thing about sirloin, makes the whole brain happy. Beef, real food for real people.
Call this number for a great deal from UA Cable. Now, with a $10 donation to Easter Seals, you can get free cable installation. Plus, you can choose any premium channel and get 1 month free. Cable operators are standing by. 686-2600. Call now.
Who makes the best quality American-made appliances? Whirlpool. Who guarantees 100% customer satisfaction? Whirlpool. Where can you get the best price and free delivery on Whirlpool appliances? Neil's, the king of deals.
LaFonso Ellis has scored all 6 points this quarter, and maybe he can do it in and out of bounds. That right foot right on the line. Tough to call, but...
Well, it wouldn't be tough to call, I suppose, if you're looking at it, but there's so many things to look at. You don't have 5 eyes or anything like that, so it's just sometimes a mistake is made.
Bad pass out front by McKinney, picked up by McGarry. McGarry throws it away. McGarry was looking for Tyrone Bell, but when Bell saw McGarry go up in the air, he assumed the jumper was on its way, so Bell was getting in rebounding position, but it was not forthcoming.
It's just a situation where it's a good idea, but it takes 2 people to make a good play, and one of them just didn't expect the pass.
Turnover ratio not all that much different. Ellis, too short. Tip back up and in by Martin. Well,
for that turnover thing to be a factor in the game, it would have to heavily favor Evanston, I think, for them to have a real shot at this thing, and it's just not. It's about even.
Well, the Ellis factor also came into play there. He gets the ball, he attracts 2 or 3 people, he puts up the shot, it frees one of his mates on the wing for the offensive rebound.
And they're smart enough to go at it.
Oh, good steal by Bradford. Bradford might take it all the way. Now he gives it up to McKinney, but he can't handle it. It was behind McKinney a little bit, tough to handle, so the turnover will come the other way.
One of the few times they've messed up a fast break. Their fast break has looked awfully good the whole game.
Well, we've mentioned, of course, and if you follow Illinois basketball, you know that LaFonso Ellis is headed to Digger Phelps terrain and playing for the Fighting Irish next year. But what you may not know is that his coach, Benny Lewis, was not at all enthralled by the fact that he went to Notre Dame, because, first of all, Ellis didn't tell his coach that he was even thinking about Notre Dame. Oh, they break the pressure nicely, but the jam attempt is broken up. Murray went up for the jam and got it rejected. Ellis just keeps swatting him. Martin can't get it to fall. Getting back to the LaFonso Ellis story, if you would have asked Benny Lewis the day before LaFonso Ellis signed, he would have said, I believe he's going to Illinois.
Well, that's such a big decision for a young man, and I think the coach should be involved in there, and I think Benny thought he should be too, and it was almost a secret.
Robinson made a nice move, couldn't get it to fall. Ellis cleared it out of there.
Let's make they can clear that we're not being critical of his choice. I just think that when a young man makes that decision, the coach should be heavily involved, and so, of course, so should his parents.
Well, Lou Henson of Illinois called it his biggest disappointment ever as far as recruiting was concerned. One thing LaFonso Ellis does not want to play in college is center. He wants to be a forward. Nice steal by McGarry. Down to Robinson. That's pretty. So Brian Robinson after the McGarry steal, but they're still a long way apart, but a couple more of those and maybe they'll be back in it. Tyrone Bell with a steal.
Well, I think for Evanston right now, you can't look at the scoreboard. You're 20 down. If you did, I think you'd be down, and I'll finish my story as soon as we come back.
After we pause for these messages.
Kroger salutes high school basketball in Illinois. The pride, the power, the promise. Kroger salutes Illinois' best with our best.
Save on regular Polish or skinless Eckrich smoked sausage, $1.69 a pound. Gold medal all-purpose flour, 5-pound bag, 79 cents. And Spotlight regular bean coffee, 1-pound bag, now $1.99.
Score with cost cutter savings. Go team, go Krogering.
Live on pay-per-view, WrestleMania 4. What the world will be watching on Sunday afternoon, March 27 from Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. WrestleMania 4, live on pay-per-view.
Hold this number for a great deal from UA Cable. Now, with a $10 donation to Easter Seals, you can get free cable installation. Plus, you can choose any premium channel and get 1 month free. Cable operators are standing by. 686-2600. Call now.
For the folks who might have been lulled to sleep by the spread here tonight, Tyrone Bell had a wake-up call. Easy layup now. Spectacular jam is what he wanted. And then after the steal, Robinson with the good body control.
There haven't been enough of those for Evanston tonight. That's been part of the story.
With the basketball, here's McGarry. I knew he'd get it sooner or later.
Well, you can't put the ball on the ground there. That's the problem. Because they've got those quick guards with quicker hands.
Bell hanging, but can't get it to fall. I think that could have been a three-point play.
You know, finish what I was saying before. If you're Evanston, you can't look at the score. If you're 20 down, it looks bleak for you. I think what you have to do is go out. You got to play hard. You got to look for your opportunities. You got to play the game hard at both ends of the court. Go after the boards, get good shots, and then maybe in 3 or 4 minutes at the end of the quarter, look at the score and see what's happening. You got to creep back into this game, and I think the mental outlook is very important, because if you look at the score, you're going to be down and you're not going to have that concentration or hard work that's necessary to get yourself back into the game. So if you just forget the score, forget the time, and just play the game, you might, and I emphasize might, find yourself back into the game.
Robinson and Benoit check back in for Coach Mike Hart. Bell will try to make his second better than his first.
See, St. Louis defense has really taken Javon McGarry out of this game, and really he's such a big part of Evanston's offense, and it's he just really hasn't had much of a chance.
Well, Coach Hart said before the game, hey, we'll take him at LaFonso Ellis, and vice versa. We'll see what happens, and we have seen what's transpired so far. Turnover by the Tigers, so the Wild Kicks, not the Cats, will bring it up. Bell. Oh, great athletic move there by Robinson. Robinson's got the wide open 15-footer, but he can't get it to fall. That's goaltending. That's goaltending, and LaFonso Ellis really didn't mean to do that. He went up to clear the rebound, but the ball was coming back down on top of the cylinder, as you're about to see.
I think this would have gone in. Yeah, kind of hard to tell there.
Hard to tell, but
yeah. He got up there and he figured, I'd hate to come down without the ball, so I might as well take a swipe at it.
It's like going to the store and not picking up the groceries. You might as well have something for it. 48-31. Out front, another turnover. No, Ellis gets it over to Stevenson, and that's what East St. Louis Lincoln has been doing all night. Whenever they have a turnover, or what looks like a turnover, they turn it into paradise. That's quickness. That's what does it for you. The other way, Bell. He's got some nice moves. Tyrone Bell is Mr. Everything for Evanston as far as Mike Hart is concerned. He said they wouldn't be here without him.
Well, LaFonso Ellis, I don't remember last year seeing him play and being such as good a passer as he's been tonight. That may be an element of his game that's a little bit new.
There's Ellis high. And he is fouled as he tried to go back up by Benoit. 14 points, incidentally, for Tyrone Bell after that last drive. Aurora East. Peoria Manual. Not to mention Frank Bissoni, all coming up soon. After this ball game is over, it would appear that East St. Louis Lincoln is in the driver's seat.
But as looking at him,
as Joaquin Andujar, the ex-St. Louis Cardinal pitcher, once said, my favorite word is you never know. And even though that's 3 words, we'll take Joaquin's word for it. LaFonso Ellis. What you were saying about you didn't remember him being as good a passer, I think that's just maturity. You play a year, and he's playing under the lights, man. I mean, everybody's looking at him, and you get used to that stage, and then you become a better player. You start looking at yourself again. Inside McGarry, Ellis says hello. All the way down goes Jackson. Watch this move. Whoa, he missed it. Rebound Martin. Jackson's one of those fancy damn players. You can tell he's going to do something on his way down.
Well, they're having some fun out there, and it's easy to have fun when you're about 20 up.
54-33, East St. Louis Lincoln. 6 block shots for LaFonso Ellis. Robinson out front is fouled by Lawrence Bradford.
You know, with that passing, too, I think you get to a point where you know you don't have to prove anything to anybody. And then, of course, when you get the ball and there's 5 people around you, I don't think it's that hard for the coach to convince you that, you know, dump the ball out for an easier, somebody can get an easier shot. Yeah, that's
there are blocks and then there are blocks.
Yeah, he almost cuffed that one. He caught it, I think.
Brian Robinson can't get that one to fall. Chris McKinney has just checked in for East St. Louis Lincoln.
Evanston really hasn't taken it inside and then dumped the ball, you know, to the open man. And, you know, the idea is to get a player like Ellis up in the air and then pass it off to somebody. And of course, it's easy for me to criticize when you're in there among the trees. Maybe you can't see anybody, but that would be a strategy that might work.
Oh, almost a great steal by Robinson, and then they call McKinney for the foul.
I think that was a good call by the official. It seemed like the ball was stolen by Robinson, and McKinney pushed off a little bit. You know, one thing that was lost, too, Robinson had 2 quick fouls. Remember that in the first quarter?
That's right.
So he was on the bench for quite a while. McGarry was on the bench.
Robinson had to give himself up on that second foul because Alfonso Ellis was free for the jam. Benoit out front. Now they get it inside. McGarry, good move. Juvan McGarry, who promised his coach Mike Hart after the Wildcats were beaten in the quarterfinal round by King 2 years ago. McGarry was a freshman then. He didn't even see any action, but he promised Hart that they'd be back to the Elite Eight, and they're back. Jumper, Vincent Jackson.
You know, Jim, McGarry did make that last shot, but he really altered it because of Ellis's presence. It was almost a little lucky that it went in, because it wasn't a very good shot.
Here's McGarry again.
I think it was a good example where McGarry is driving the hoop. Ellis went up with him. All he had to do was drop the ball to that free man underneath. And he did draw the foul, so something positive came from it. But that's what I mean about dumping the ball to somebody who's open when you get that defensive player to commit to you.
There you see LaFonso Ellis. Notre Dame is first choice. UCLA is second. Illinois is third. Second and third don't count in horseshoes or recruiting, though. Juvan McGarry, who came in here averaging 19 points a contest, stuck on 9. Boy, look at Stevenson fight for the pill. Jackson, good cross-court pass. Martin, glass in the bank. 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 58-37, East St. Louis Lincoln.
This East St. Louis team is playing very well and very, very confidently.
McGarry can't get it to fall underneath. Another block. All the way down is Martin with 4 seconds, and he got it. Conzo Martin, and that's the biggest lead of the night for East St. Louis at 23. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies.
The day you drive out with a new car, you start driving down the value month after month. With most auto insurance, total a car 2 years later, and you just get the used car value. But with Country Company's Keeper policy, if your car is wrecked beyond repair, you get a brand new car. Same make and model, even if it costs more than you paid at first. So get the Country behind you.
You got the Country Company.
Why the big rush?
I've got to get to University Ford.
What's your hurry?
University Ford.
And you?
University Ford. Why is everybody rushing to University Ford? People have discovered this really is the best place to buy a new or used car or truck.
Get a $2,400 discount on this Taurus GL 4-door sedan right now at University Ford.
At University Ford, you're always a winner.
Thanks, David.
Terry Johnson had an idea at the end of the third quarter, the idea to go up against LaFonso Ellis. Bad idea, as it turns out, because that led to a break the other way as Conzo Martin got it to fall. Every one of these Tigers tonight has contributed, not only in the floor plan, but also on the scoreboard.
It seems like everybody out there for East St. Louis is loose. They know what individually they have to do. They know as a team what they have to do, and they're executing very well.
Loose on the floor, who wants it? McGarry wants it, and he throws it over, and Stevenson picked it off. Well, McGarry didn't have a lot of a choice there. He had to get rid of it, and Stevenson read his mail.
Now, Evanston hasn't quit, that's for sure. They're still hustling and getting on the floor for the ball.
Lawrence Bradford fouled out front by Robinson. That's 3 on Robinson.
At that last time, or not timeout, at the end of the quarter, Evanston came walking over to the bench, kind of shaking their heads. They'd just seen that block shot and a couple fast break short jumpers by East St. Louis, and I think, I don't know, I'm shaking my head too. You know, I don't know what more Evanston can do. They're certainly giving it the best shot, but I think you called it before. They're just outmanned.
East St. Louis Lincoln tried to get the ball inside unsuccessfully. Robinson can't get it. Thompson back up and in. Make that Johnson. Correction, Terry Johnson with the basket. 60-39 East St. Louis Lincoln. Jackson the other way. Kicks it out on the wing to Stevenson. At this time of the game, Coach, if you're up by 21 and you're East St. Louis Lincoln, I don't mean to say you lose your intensity, but in the back of your mind, you're saying, well, okay, we got a lock on this when you think it's semifinal, so you may not look as sharp as you did early on, and that's just human nature, I would agree.
Yeah, you lose your concentration a little bit, and plus, if you're one of the other 4 players on the court, you know if you screw up a little bit, you've got an all-state, all-world player behind you that will probably pick you up more times than that. It's like this press. It's a 1-2-1-1. You know who the last one is? It's Ellis, standing underneath the basket, ready to block any shot that's taken, so that the other 4 guys can really have some fun, do some hustling, and take some chances.
So it's like a 6-man zone, what it is.
It's going to look at least like 6.
McGarry from the top, no. Rebound nicely by Johnson, and they'll have a whistle and a foul. Let's see who picked it up. Ellis was in there, but I don't think it was Ellis. Stevenson will be called for the personal. And Stevenson is no lightweight in there. We're talking 6'7", 200 pounds to go along with Ellis's 6'10", 225.
I was wondering why he took him out. It's his 4th foul. I know Coach Lewis doesn't like to play that many guys. He usually plays maybe 6, 7 at the most. Never hurts to get somebody else in the game, especially when you've got the game for all intents and purposes. One, just give them a little experience. You never know if you're going to need them tomorrow, because they do have to play 2 games, and you'd like to have somebody that at least was on the court the night before able to go in and ready to go in.
Terry Johnson hits 50%, gets his own rebound back, but lost it out of bounds. Oh, Johnson's hustling, that's for sure.
Well, sometimes you try so hard and these things aren't going your way, and like that. He makes a good hustle play to get a rebound. The thing hits the floor. He loses the handle on it, and then it bounces up and hits the support that's out of bounds in St. Louis.
It hasn't been much of a contest since 2 minutes left in the first quarter. McGarry comes out of there with it, falls down. Who wants it? Johnson has it and kicks it over to Bell. With 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter, East St. Louis Lincoln went on a 7-point run, and that's been about it. McGarry in and out. That's typical of the night he's had. A good shot, good turnaround, just wouldn't fall.
He rushed it a little bit, though. He didn't follow through like he should.
McKinney in and out. And a whistle and a foul on McGarry. That'll be 4.
And when I say he rushed it or didn't follow through properly, the big number 20 in there is the reason why.
McGarry, of course, only a junior. Last year he helped lead the Evanston Wildcats to the Sweet 16. This year to the Elite 8. Out comes Robinson. I mean, don't be real surprised if you see Mike Evanston, or Mike Hart, I should say, at Evanston back in the Sweet 16 next year with McGarry and Bell to build around. That's not a bad nucleus. He needs some shooting guards, though, is what he needs. Ellis, left-handed hook. You get bored with the right hand, you go to the left hand.
I'm really impressed with him this year.
He is a player.
He's a complete player. And,
well, you can tell he's worked at it, too. He hasn't looked at his skills and said, well, I'm better than the rest right now. He's going to make himself as good as he can be. Bradford deals inside, hangs, and hits.
You know, it might be interesting. Eric Anderson, Alfonso Ellis matchup.
Oh, they're already talking about that, Coach. Everybody's got their little projections when you come down to a tournament like this. Of course, Frank Bassoni and I, our projection was that you wouldn't complain about 3-pointers for at least 24 hours, and you haven't. So Frank and I are right on that one.
What's nice is they got all these good teams down here, and that line may not as well be out there. You know that?
3-pointer hasn't been a factor here so far.
We've had 3 games, and it's just, and there's been a couple of them, but I mean, it really hasn't been that obvious.
Jackson can't get it to fall. Ellis up, Martin puts it down. Ellis kept that alive, Martin put it down. I'll tell you, Jackson may not score in all those moves, but a couple of them belong on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He's a dancer in mid-flight. Johnson underneath. Terry Johnson making his presence felt. McGarry getting set to check back in along with Robinson for Evanston. See, but you can tell that East St. Louis Lincoln knows that not only that they're good, but knows how to win. Oh, boy. Oh, man. LaFonso hangs the net out to dry.
You know, there are a couple things that are really impressive about East St. Louis. LaFonso Ellis, certainly, but also the supporting cast. You come down here and you wonder, well, okay, they've got Ellis, he's all-state, and all this and all that, but what does he have to surround himself with? And I see some very good basketball players out there. This is a very good team.
Well, Benny Lewis said before this tournament started that they may not rebound as well overall as last year's team did. That's about all they don't do as well. Ellis with the rebound. Ellis with 18 points. 2 coming on that in-your-net number. Last trip down. Let's see if LaFonso wants the fadeaway. He does, but he doesn't buy it. And we've got a whistle as Jackson went up for the rebound, and he'll be called for the personal foul. When Jackson gets called for a foul, it looks like there's a painful ailment going on somewhere on his frame because he... Of course, you never see too many players, Coach. Have you in your career ever saw a player who had a foul called on him go up to the official and say, yes, you're right? Rare. That's rare.
Well, it's rare. I think if you're smart, it's not a bad idea, though. At least once in a while.
That would be called diplomacy.
I think there are a lot of words for it, but that's one of them.
James Lewis, number 44, checking in to the Tiger lineup. We've got 4 minutes and 1 tick of the clock left in this one. It's been all East St. Louis Lincoln. McGarry gets us a foul. I believe that's his 10th point of the night. And now he'll try for 11. Oh, nice save there by Evanston. And now Bell from outside, and he's fouled from behind. Bell never saw the man flashing from behind as Bradford picked up the personal.
That would have been interesting if it dropped. That would have been a 4-pointer.
I haven't seen one of those for a while. Evanston's got some good-looking ball players. This is one of them, Tyrone Bell. But we just saw a shot of Mike Hart moments ago, and you got to like his demeanor. I mean, he really is a friendly guy, first of all. And then he's not on the bench screaming and yelling. I mean, he can see what's happening out there. He's not demanding more than his team can give him.
He's a very class person. I think his players are class. They're playing very hard, and even though it's a one-sided game at this point, they're still playing hard. You don't see a lot of moaning at the officials or any cheap shots or anything like that. They're just playing the basketball the way it should be played, hard.
Bradford can't get it to fall, but he's fouled as he went up. Checking into the lineup for Benny Lewis before that trip down court was number 14, Darian Nash. As Coach Geist alluded to earlier, Benny Lewis doesn't go to his bench a lot. Darian Nash, one of the people that he does go to when he needs to, averaging 5 points a game. There's Mike Hart.
You know what's, just to repeat something you said, I think the good coaches want their players to play hard and to concentrate. And if that's not good enough, well, it's not good enough. But at least you gave it your best shot.
But there's nothing written in stone, regardless of what Vince Lombardi might have said. I haven't seen it written anywhere that says you've got to win.
Just want to play hard enough and to concentrate well enough to win.
Right. You want to win.
Right. You always want to win. But in a case like this, no matter the way East St. Louis has played, no matter what Evanston would have done tonight, I don't think they would have been successful. I don't think they could have beaten them. East St. Louis has played too well.
Bell couldn't get the jumper. Robinson couldn't get the jumper off as Chris McKinney blocked it. Now ball goes out of bounds the other way. Well, the only thing we're waiting around for now in this one, besides that fourth game of the day between Peoria Manual and Aurora East, is the final score in this one. East St. Louis Lincoln taking one more important step on the road to repeating as AA state champions, something no one has done since Thornridge did it, as Ellis buries the turnaround. But of course, Thornridge did it when the tournament was only one class system, and then they came back and did it the second time as 2A. So East St. Louis Lincoln would be the first 2A team to ever do it back-to-back. Oh, LaFonso lost the handle on that one. The other way, breaking, Bell in the middle of McGarry, got it, and it is down. That was an unselfish play on Bell's part. He saw McGarry coming, and Bell could have taken the layup himself had he so desired.
Well, I think he was kind of looking maybe for a gorilla dunk on this. The defensive player didn't do a bad job. He just should have turned.
Darian Nash hadn't committed himself, and that's why I said Bell could have very well taken the layup. Well, you know, this game is so easy when you sit down and watch it, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't have to be out there.
72-47, timeout on the floor. One of your network sponsors is the American Dairy Association of Illinois.
Come on, everybody, do that kick. Help kick, nooks that kick. The hard man pours it on the real tall. Staying in shape, milk's a part of it all. Milk! From big city slickers to wheat field kickers, America's favorite help kick, milk.
Being cool you find is a state of mind, a refreshing attitude when things get hot. Cool is all you got, doing it country cool. Mountain Dew, so chill out when the heat comes on with the cool, smooth Mountain Dew. Doing it country cool. Mountain Dew, doing it country cool.
We are back live at the Assembly Hall. The look on that woman's face courtside pretty much tells the story. I don't know if she's an Evanston fan, but the excitement is gone because East St. Louis Lincoln has taken it away. Field goal shooting here. Boy, Lincoln just tearing it up with 57%.
About the same percentages at the half, wasn't it?
Yeah, right around there, Coach. Chris McKinney picked up the personal foul on that one as Bell tried to take it in. 4 on McKinney, but I guess you'd have to file that in the no problem department. Checking in now for East St. Louis Lincoln, number 13, Marco Harris. James Lewis in the ball game wearing number 44. Darian Nash also in there. LaFonso Ellis. I don't have to tell you his number. You can see it. As soon as we get a wide shot, Lawrence Bradford, the starting guard, still in the ball game for Benny Lewis. To recap what happened today, St. Francis, the Sales, their first time ever in the Elite Eight. Now it's going to be their first time ever in the Final Four because they knocked off Simeon in OT 60-57, fouled by Bell on the inbounds pass. And the second quarter final game went to Rock Island. Boy, you talk about a helter-skelter contest. The ball was on the floor a good quarter of that game. Defensive pressure the entire game by Rock Island and half the game by Bloom Trail as they tried to catch up. Rocks won it 69-52. Duncan Reed worried greatly about the Sales, but he's got a way of stopping big men. That's one of the things he's famous for in high school coaching. Tries to shut down that big man. So we'll see if he can do it tomorrow against Anderson. Robinson way outside, way off the mark. Benoit can't get it to fall. Underneath, block shot again as Terry Johnson tried to shake it free. East St. Louis Lincoln running, but coming up empty. Robinson 2-on-1. There's a nice move, and he got it to fall. I like Robinson. He's a good player. He really is a good player. Marco Harris all the way down, kicks it off to LaFonso with emphasis. How much would you pay to be able to do that, Coach? One little slam.
It's been a few years since I've been able to.
I was thinking a week's pay, but that's not enough. All the way down. Brad gets it blocked by Bell. Well, Bell adds some excitement here late as Benoit brings it in. Bradford thought he was cruising. Bell outside, buries the 3. So Evanston will leave the floor, at least letting East St. Louis Lincoln know they were here.
That was really a spectacular block, wasn't it, by Bell at that end? Holy smokes. Got a minute and a half to go, and he's still hustling and working like that. But again, that's just to emphasize what we said before about Mike Hart and his program. I mean, they're just working hard, and it's a class organization.
Kyle Benoit checks out for Evanston, and he plays his last minute of high school basketball. Oh, boy.
That
Bell.
is a great block. That's pretty. That is very pretty.
Free and easy.
This is what I mean about, we talked earlier in the day about getting down here is a great accomplishment. The coaches appreciate that. Look at the kids are patting each other on the back. Sure, they lost the game and they're disappointed, but geez, you can't be down when you make it downstate. I mean, you can't be down mentally or anything else. You've got to be happy with the situation. These kids will get over it and they'll understand what a great accomplishment that they've had this season.
Well, let's put it this way. How many perfect games of basketball have you ever seen played? Maybe one, two.
And I'll tell you.
And that's what Evanston had to do here tonight.
Yeah,
they pretty much had to be perfect.
Right. And it's not like they gave the game away or that they came down here and didn't give out the maximum effort. I think they did everything that Coach Hart wanted them to. And East St. Louis has just played that much better. I thought before the game that to have a chance to win, Evanston would have to work harder and out-hustle East St. Louis. East St. Louis never gave him the opportunity to do that.
Peter Thomas in the ball game for Evanston. He's number 33. He'll kick it in. Also in the ball game, Chris Daniels. He wears number 43. And also Sloan Smith, who just took that shot. Smith Ellis with a baseball pass. Oh, that would have been spectacular. He was trying to spot James Lewis at the other end.
Overthrew his receiver in the end zone, Jim.
Good defensive coverage back there by the Redskins. 76-54 our score. East St. Louis Lincoln is in the Final Four, and that's good sportsmanship. That's what they talk about in high school athletics as LaFonso Ellis goes down and shakes hands with every member of the Evanston Wildcats and then salutes the fans that have come down to see the Tigers play. Sloan with a basketball out front. It's knocked away. James Lewis all the way. Check that. That is Darian Nash. Nash with the layup, and we've got 35 seconds left to go. Stolen away by Marco Harris. Down it goes to Nash again, and he'll get it to fall. East St. Louis Lincoln quietly has hit the 80-point mark. And this was not an up-tempo game, folks. 80 points without an up-tempo run-and-gun affair is saying something.
Well, you're comparing that to this afternoon's game with Bloom Trail in Rock Island. That was up-tempo. That was about as up as it could be.
That looked like it was played in one of those machines that they train astronauts on, you know, where you get used to the G-force.
Somebody wondered if there were ever 10 players on the same side of half court at any time during that game.
Well, if you want to see an up-tempo game, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us because Peoria Emanuel and Aurora East will give it to you. Hitting the J is Chris Daniels, who got the number to fall in the lane. 15 seconds. Marco Harris in the backcourt. Gets it over to Stanford Riley, who fires and doesn't hit. Rebound comes down to East St. Louis Lincoln. And firing it will be Dan Featherson, and he almost hit it. That's the way it comes to an end. East St. Louis Lincoln, the defending state champions, 2 games away from doing it again. Evanston, for the second time in 3 years, comes down to the quarterfinals and falls short. But nothing to be ashamed of, because the first time they fell short, it was to Chicago King, who went on to win the state championship, and tonight they fall to the defending state champion. 80-56, one of your network sponsors is the Illinois Beef Council.
Whatever happened to real food? You know the kind that just tastes real good. Don't want a dinner I can't pronounce. By the ounce. Whatever happened to real food? You know the kind that just tastes real good. Give me a steak and I won't be through. I got a taste for some real food.
Beef, real food for real people.
Where's Charlie?
So how's your new lawnmower?
Great. I've wanted a John Deere all my life.
Got there first thing this morning. Done in no time.
Where is he?
I've had my John Deere rider for years. Never had a bit of trouble.
Mine started this morning like the first day I got it, and it's 7 years old.
So what's keeping Charlie?
He doesn't have a John Deere, does he?
Nothing runs like a deer.
The scoreboard comes down. Evanston goes home, and East St. Louis Lincoln moves on. 80-56, the final here tonight. You'd love to say it was all LaFonso Ellis, but you'd be wrong because he had plenty of support. Lawrence Bradford had a good game. Vincent Jackson had a good game. Brian Stevenson chipped in. Conzo Martin was also there on the boards. And what you noted earlier, Coach, Evanston knew they had to take the ball inside because they did not have the perimeter shooting. They made the gamble. They lost, but still they made the right choice early on.
Well, they went down trying to execute a good game plan, and it didn't work. And it was because East St. Louis just played so well. I was very impressed with our whole team, and I have to emphasize the word team because I've been hearing so much about LaFonso Ellis. I think you have a tendency to think it's a one-man squad. It's not.
And they also serve notice that if you want to apply a full court pressure to them, you better be quick because they can break it. East St. Louis Lincoln, 58% from the field, 34% for Evanston. Free throws, not really a factor here, although Evanston did bury 17 of those. Rebounds in favor of East St. Louis Lincoln, but they had the early rebounding advantage, so that a little bit misleading. Turnovers, a lot of them here tonight, but the final result is all that matters as far as Benny Lewis is concerned because his club moves on. They are now 26-4. Evanston and the finally coached Mike Hart team, 25-6. They bow out. Now, let us move to Art Kimball courtside for a courtside chat. Art?
Thank you very much. Kurt Neitlinger with us, the director of this fine Dixon Pep Band that's been performing here today. And, of course, President Reagan's hometown